other night.
Banchero scoops it, dishes, back to Banchero for a slam on the alley-oop by Roach.
The Orlando Magic surprised more than a few draft watchers when they made Paolo Banchero the #1 pick of the 2022 NBA draft. Prior to June 23rd, rumors had him going third. One thing both his draft night selection and the speculation beforehand agreed on was that he'd go in the top 3 though. The Magic have had the top pick in the NBA draft 3 times before, and every time they've picked a winner. They landed NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal in 1992 and Dwight Howard in 2004, and both players led them to the NBA Finals. They also got Chris Webber in 1993, though he was traded to Golden State before playing for Orlando. 3 current or future Hall of Famers make for some huge shoes to fill. Stick around as we break down how Banchero can do it and what challenges he may face translating his game to the pros.
Roach into the paint. Banchero the finish!
For a team bad enough to have a shot at the #1 overall pick, Orlando was surprisingly alright at team defense last year. They ranked 19th in defensive rating. It isn't great, but also means 11 teams fared worse. That's good because one of the concerns about Banchero's college career was a lack of defensive focus. He didn't always show up on the defensive end in high school, and at times those problems looked even worse during his stint at Duke. Whether due to fatigue, focus on offense, or limited lateral quickness, he was able to serve as part of a strong defensive unit, but rarely looked like a key cog in it. Quicker players beat him off the dribble. He tried for few off-ball defensive plays and made less, and despite his muscular 6'10 frame, he didn't provide a lot of rim protection. None of that is a deal breaker for an NBA power forward, but put it all together and it raises concerns about whether or not he'll be a plus defender on his rookie contract, or ever. The good news for Banchero and the Magic is that in his limited Summer League play, he was both asked to take on a larger role on defense and looked good doing it. He upped his blocks and especially steals and kept up with the quicker pace and greater athleticism of other NBA hopefuls. He looked switchable and made the right decisions in transition. In particular, while he did get beat off the dribble at times, he consistently recovered to bother the ball handler. If it turns out that his perceived weaknesses on defense were a matter of not being 100% in college, or of Duke's system not needing him to serve as an anchor on defense, then what many saw as his biggest professional limitation can turn into yet another strength. Do you think scouts were too low on Banchero's defense, or were his Summer League successes outliers? Drop us a line in the comments.
Banchero with another little bit of room service at the other end. Okay.
Even if Banchero only ends up being okay on defense, he can more than make up for it with his offense. A few years ago, when many NBA teams had fully committed to maximizing the efficiency of every shot attempt, Banchero's game might have left them with concerns. In college, even with the closer three-point line, he shot around 34% from deep. That's good enough to keep a defense honest if it translates to the NBA three-point line, but it wouldn't have been enough for a centerpiece scorer. In the last few years, though, the NBA has started to embrace consistent mid-range scoring again. Defenses adjusted to analytics-driven long-range bombers and left holes for players like DeMar DeRozan to exploit. Paolo Banchero could slot into that same role as a mid-range weapon who can knock down twos from distance at a rate many players would struggle to equal with their layups. His ability to get shots from either on or off-ball movement means he should be able to find and exploit the gaps in opponents' coverage. If that ends up being his ceiling, he'll need consistent outside shooters to surround him, but he'll still be able to serve as a #1 option in today's NBA. Once again, his brief appearance in Summer League suggests he could go even higher. He only took well-chosen threes, but even at NBA range, he knocked down half of them. If he could carry that forward, both the good eye for picking shots he can make and the ability to nail those shots at a dangerous clip, then he'll blow the lid off any kind of limit on how good of an offensive player he could be. Do you think Banchero will develop consistent NBA range? Do you want him to, or are you more excited at the possibility of him emerging as a new master of the mid-range?
Now that dude can play, man. I mean, he is preseason SoCon Player of the Year.
Regardless of how far Banchero ends up shooting from, a team that surrounds him with shooters is going to see them racking up a lot of points. That's because unusually for a player with his size and scoring ability, he's also a willing, even aggressive passer. Banchero played guard for most of his youth. A late growth spurt made him a potentially dominant forward instead of a big guard, but the skills he learned running an offense remained. He can weave in and out of traffic with the ball in his hands and can be lethal when moving without it. More than that though, he can and does pass. At Duke, he was often the team's primary ball handler. He ended up second on the team in assists as a power forward. That's even rare at the college level, where offensive sets tend to be more traditional than in the NBA, where they're driven by the unique gifts of each team's stars. Banchero took that propensity for passing to another level in his 2 Summer League outings, averaging 6 assists per contest. That's straight up point guard material, good enough for 8th in assists per game in Summer League. Only one other player 6'4" or taller dropped that many dimes, and it was Oklahoma City's Josh Giddey, a sophomore who's already proven his chops as an NBA distributor. There's a dark side to all that passing though, which is that while his assists are sky high, Banchero's turnovers have been way up there as well. He creates a ton of opportunities for his team, but to truly thrive as a lead ball handler in the NBA, he's going to need to cut down on how many he creates for his opponents. In those otherwise standout Summer League games, he averaged almost as many turnovers, 5, as he did assists. He had problems with giving up the rock in college too, leading his team in that inauspicious category. Turnover percentage is something that goes down for almost every ball handler as they get more accustomed to the NBA, but it does look like it might be a problem for Banchero as his career goes forward. Nonetheless, there is a ton of excitement about what the Magic's front court could look like as passers. Both Banchero and second-year forward Franz Wagner are willing and able passers who still command a lot of attention from the defense. No other team is going to be able to start the next season with a pair of 6'10" ball handlers and passers who have experience playing both sides of a pick and roll. That's a tandem that's already giving coaches fits as they try to scheme a way to stop it. How concerned are you by Banchero's turnovers? How excited are you to see him and Wagner causing havoc when they take the NBA floor together?
Yeah, and I asked Jabari pregame how motivated he was heading into his Summer League debut as Banchero now sits down.
Paolo Banchero looked like a future star in college, a worthy #1 selection, despite questions about how some of his strengths and weaknesses would carry forward to the pros. The games we saw in Las Vegas offer a glimpse of a player who could be even better than we hoped. Hop down to the comments and let us know just how far you think Banchero will go in the NBA and how far you think he can lead the Magic this season. Does he have what it takes to be Rookie of the Year? While you're at it, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and click that bell for more rookie looks and other great hoops content.
Leave the chandeliers, big fella. Wow.
Banchero here.
That's a problem.
That's a